Karrie, you've answered a few questions downstairs before, but obviously it's the first time you're playing in a state open. How does it feel so far, first couple of days here at 13th Beach?
Yeah, it's great to be here. I obviously had heard a lot of great things about the event over the past few years from a lot of the girls that have played, and I wanted to start my year down here in Australia again this year instead of over in the States, and because of the great things I've heard about the event and the schedule of the event, it just all worked out. So I'm really glad to be here.
Obviously a question that's on everyone's mind, and it's the first event of this type that you've played before. I'm sure you've answered this question before, but what do you think of the concept, and do you see this concept taking off in other state opens and then potentially in other world golf tournaments?
Yeah, I think it is a great concept to have the guys and the girls here. I think there's only a few facilities around the world that would be able to accommodate having two full fields, just under 300 players. There's not a lot of venues that can do that. But if it can become more common, I think it's great for the game. So people are able to come, if they're fans of women's golf, they also get to see the men's, and vice versa. I think it just grows the game.
Take some questions from the floor.
Karrie, what's driving you this year to stay at the top of your game?
Well, I think the thing that's kept me playing a full schedule the last few years is the chance to represent Australia at the Olympics. It's 4 or 5 years ago, 2016 seemed a long way away, but now we're only 7 months away. So I'm hopefully play decently through the first part of the year here, and know that I'll be going to Rio, and start thinking about that.
Is that really what's kept you going, and I guess stopped you almost from retiring or scaling back?
Yeah, I think I probably might have scaled back a little bit sooner. It's a good bad problem to have when you've achieved what I've achieved in my career. There's not a lot of things that you look at trying to do that you haven't already achieved, and then the things you haven't, those goals seem, they don't seem to be as important as they did when you were 20 years old. But the Olympics was something that was never a possibility for me until about eight years ago. So, I'm a sports nut, and I've always loved the Olympics. And obviously, the Australian public get behind the Australian team at the Olympics every 4 years, and just to be a part of that will be something special. And obviously, hope to perform well. But just to say that you're an Olympian, you're in a very small group of people to be able to say that. So I'm excited to have the chance.
Have you spoken to any of the great Olympians in other sports, Karrie, about what you might expect from it?
A few. I have a few friends that have been to the Olympics. Nat Cook's a good friend of mine, and Renee Stubbs. And I actually have a cousin who represented Australia in the '84 Olympics in the Australian women's basketball team. So I think that's when I became a fan of the Olympics, was when she went to LA. And so, I think the experience is, seeing all different athletes from around the world. I mean, we're all there for the sacrifices that we've put in to be at the top of our sport, and so we have that common thread. And I think I'm excited to be in the athletes' village and opening ceremony and those things, just to be a part of and feel what that feels like, because that's when I talk to anyone that's been to the Olympics, apart from representing Australia in their sport, their biggest experiences are those. So I'm looking forward to that.
So who she hasn't?
Say that again.
Who was the basketball?
Trish Cockram is her name.
Is it just being there, or is a gold medal something you've got your eyes on?
Well, obviously that would be the icing on the cake. But with golf, the number one player in the world doesn't win every week. And that's the challenging thing about golf and the Olympics. Usually the top 3 Olympic sprinters in the 100 metres will win gold, silver and bronze. There's not much of an upset in those sports, where I think which could make golf appealing in the Olympics, because someone that's 200 in the world could win gold medal. And I think that will draw the attention to the Olympics, and other countries around the world that probably aren't big in golf will realise that if they put money into athletes to play golf, that they don't have to be the best in the world to win an Olympic medal, and most countries deem Olympic medals as the most important achievements in golf, in sport. So, I think that's going to make golf interesting. But again, some people, I know that the golf governing bodies are worried about countries. If you're not going to win a medal, they don't send their athletes. So they'd try and explain it to those countries that anyone in the top 200 probably have a chance of winning a medal.
Speaking to some of the girls, some of the younger Australian players, and they sort of mentioned how much of an impact you've had on their young careers. Is that something that you've really enjoyed doing, mentoring some of those young girls?
Yeah, probably over the last 8 or 9 years, just with my series and scholarship program that I do with Golf Australia. It's been very rewarding for me to get to know the girls and have them come over to the States and stay with me during the US Open, and give them as much support as I can. I think if there's anything that I can give to them that might help them with their careers going forward, I'm only happy to do that.
Is it important then to sort of leave the game in a better shape in Australia than sort of when you entered it and so forth? Like say Minjee, when she retires, if she takes it forward at another level?
Yeah, I guess I feel like I'm doing the pay it forward from what Greg Norman did for me. And he, I won his inaugural Greg Norman Junior Golf Foundation tournament, and that was a trip to go to Florida and stay with Greg and his family in their house. And growing up a Greg Norman fan, that was a dream come true. So I know the impact that had on me, and so what I'm doing, I feel, is my pay it forward. So hopefully, Minjee, but there's going to be a bunch of girls that have the potential to have great careers, and hopefully they'll do the same.
Is there someone you can look back on at the moment, with a bit of satisfaction that you've played a pretty big part in their development?
Oh, I don't think there's any one player. I think I was just thinking about it before. I think every single one of my scholarship winners are here this week playing professionally. Or Hannah Green's actually here as an amateur, but they're all here. I think I've seen all of them. That's rewarding in itself without having to name anyone specifically.
Do they still come up to you sort of on the range and have a chat and talk game, anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing that I've enjoyed is apparently I have a reputation for being unapproachable. So I'm glad that I have this relationship with these girls, because they come out on tour and we're already friends, and it's not daunting for them to come up to me and ask me for advice or to go and play a practice round or what have you. So I've really enjoyed that, because I've gotten to know this generation of players where else I wouldn't probably know them as well.
Yeah, will you continue to do that sort of stuff once you've retired then?
Yeah, I'd like to get into that side of it a bit more. Definitely. I think I'll be involved with helping the younger girls out, it's not something that I'll stop doing once I stop playing.
Have you thought about what your playing program looks like post-Olympics, Karrie?
No, I've always said at the end of the year and end of this year I'll review. I don't see me not playing. It just might not be 22 events a year.
How important to get off to a good start with your first couple of tournaments just to really lock down that Olympic spot?
Yeah, obviously it's important, but for me, just playing good golf and being in contention for golf tournaments is what I really want to do. And obviously, if that helps me lock down my spot for the Olympics, then that's the bonus.
How do you feel your game stacks up at the moment against the top players in the world?
Well, I think if I get out of my own way, I'm still could be as good as I ever have been. I don't know if my body allows me to do it week in and week out like I used to, but on any given week, I know I have a chance to mix it with the best.
And given all the majors and everything you've achieved, where would an Olympic, I guess, participation or a medal stack up against, say, a major or anything else you've done?
Well, if there's a medal on the cards, it would sit right next to my major trophies. So it'd be just as big as any of the majors.